Hello Internet, welcome back to our tutorial series. Last episode we set up the most basic level of, my headphones I guess. I stopped hearing crickets all of a sudden. We set up the basic structure for our faction camp, and by that I mean we placed a bulletin board. We haven't actually built anything. We want to give Lyle Darden some food. Do we? No. We want to sleep. Lyle, get in the car. I would like to swap positions with you. Close this. And then I want to sleep. Let's close the curtains. Swap positions with Lyle. Close this door. Close the rear hatch. We want to wear our headgear to prevent us from waking up. Even if Lyle Darden gets into combat, he should be fine. This is fully sealed, so as long as he's not moving around, it should be okay. I gotta assume he'll sleep in the chair if I sleep, but I guess I don't know that for sure. But let's sleep. We're gonna want to move. We're gonna want to do some things. Let's just get to bed first. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to leave Lyle at the faction camp because we're going to be going into town, and I do not trust the NPCs to handle themselves appropriately. We had issues with him already. So I would like to leave him at the camp. He has a gun. He should be fine. And once it's daylight, we will be able to see the area around us and see if there's any danger that we need to take care of before we move on. We want to deposit food into the camp so that Lyle Darden has... It's too bright to sleep. I closed everything. Why? Why is it too bright to sleep? Lyle, did you open? Curtains already closed. The doors are all closed. The rear is closed. So somewhere along here I messed up, and we no longer have a sealed compartment in the rear of our vehicle. Do I have the aisle lights on? I do not. So what that likely means is one of these stow boards is not a stow board. Stow board, stow board, stow board, stow board, stow board. Shutter doors. Are these not opaque? When closed, when open, this part lets you see, you move. Can't see through it when it's closed, so that is the proper door. They are damaged. Maybe that is allowing light through. Stow board, stow board, stow board, stow board, stow board, board. Opaque doors. Where's the door on this one? It doesn't say door. Oh, that's the seat. What am I doing? Opaque hatch, board, stow board, stow board. Okay, everything is curtain. These don't matter. Curtain, 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 curtain. Why is there light in my vehicle? Something's missing a roof. I extended the 3 rear tiles and never put a roof on them. Okay. Yep, that's my fault. So we only slept, I don't know, 3 hours. I don't remember what time it was. Enough for us to not be tired anymore. We do need to put a roof on this because we're going to be sleeping here for a while probably. Let's take off the headgear and drop the headgear. Yeah. So that's disappointing. It must be dark up front, otherwise Lyle would not be able to sleep. No, it's bright up here. I don't know how you're sleeping, bruh. We're going to wake him up. Well, let's just loot through our food a little bit here. Where did I put? That is drinks. The faction camp didn't make any mention of beverages, so I gotta imagine it doesn't matter. All it mentioned was the well, and we can get to that. Why don't we give them... What food? You can have all this sauerkraut. Does maple syrup count as food? Because it's got to have a lot of calories to it. Take the maple syrup. We'll give them the protein rations because we don't really want those. Mushy food I don't want. We'll give them some of the garbage food that we don't really want. We have a lot of dry goods that I don't really want to give them. We'll give them a lot of the garbage sweets and junk food that I don't really want because I don't think NPCs have any kind of health system attached to them. Give them the jam. And give them some oatmeal. This is fresh, which makes me wonder if it's open or something, so we'll give them that. We'll give them the eggs. I don't really use eggs. Okay. So we'll dump this in the food zone. I don't know if Lyle will try to follow us if he wakes up. The food zone is over here, so we will drop this food. Hopefully there's nothing I wanted to keep out of that, so we'll drop all this. This is going to take a long time because they're in our backpack. We'll drop the sauerkraut. And we will go to food. Distribute. I wish it would tell me how much is currently in that zone. But once we hit this, it should show us. You distribute 6,300 calories. It did not dispense everything. These sealed jars of sauerkraut, I'm guessing because they're sealed, do not count. Let us activate, open the jar, exposing it to the atmosphere. And it's not in our inventory as anything edible. It has removed the sauerkraut from existence. So now we just have an empty jar. Okay, open, eat. It's not available in the eat menu either. Unload. Can't unload it. So these are garbage. Sealed glass jar. Use it to open it and enjoy. Activate sauerkraut. Inventory. No sauerkraut. Yeah, so these are bugged. We will throw those back in the car. We only gave about 3 days worth of food, which I don't love. I would like to give more than that. Problem is, well, I don't really want to give them like our MREs and stuff. Once we get into town, we will find more food because currently the open can issue should have been fixed. So we will be finding a lot of food when we go into the town and start looting houses. So I'm not like super worried about food. But I would really prefer not to give them the MREs. Well, we should have some MREs we can't eat, right? Because we are lactose intolerant. Pepper tuna, frankfurter and beans, chili, chicken. Cheese tortellini is the only one. That's interesting. I thought there were more. We might have left some at base that we didn't want because we're lactose intolerant. Didn't really think that through. Probably should have brought them with us. We can have the nuts. I don't want to give them all my good food. I mean, we're not cooking anyway. Give them the pasta. We're not cooking anything anyway. Give them the fast noodles. So anything that requires cooking, give them the fast noodles. So we'll give them these things. There's quite a lot of calories in pasta and whatnot in this game. I'm not sure if that's true in real life or if that's just something that never got converted to appropriate calories. Because I was always under the impression there wasn't that much in you know, and these MREs might not even count as food. We might have to unload. We might have to butcher them. We'll drop them and see what happens. And let's distribute food. So yeah, maybe we should talk about this for a second. There are bugs going on with the game at all times, basically, because it's a game that's continually in development. This is something called a Segfault. If you've never experienced this, what this means is that it's going to close the game and we're going to lose our progress. So unfortunately, that is an issue that we're going to have to... There's nothing you can do. The best thing you can do is, you know, provide your log, but really Segfaults are things that are... Unless they're tied to a specific action, it can be very difficult to really determine the cause of a Segfault. The log, it generates a log, but I've heard people say that even that is not very readable, so that can be a lot of issues. Basically, if you're repeatedly getting a Segfault, so here we tried to distribute food, and we're going to try to do this again. If it's Segfaults with these items, then we can tie that. Mentally, we can draw the conclusion like, oh, okay, every time I put an MRE in, it's Segfaults. That is then what you would go to GitHub and report and say, hey, every time I drop an MRE and distribute food, it's Segfaults. So I'm not sure what is causing this, but there's also nothing we can really do. So I'm going to restart my game here. If I click OK, it's just going to close to desktop, and I'm not sure what's on my desktop, so I don't want to show you that. So we'll be back here in a moment. Now, thankfully, we did save just prior to sleeping because we're relatively early in the episode. Unfortunately, that does mean we lost that progress. So here we are back outside. So rather than sleeping, I'm going to try to distribute food again. Because if it's going to Segfault every time And my suspicion is it happened because we put sealed items. So basically what we gave them there was junk food and pasta and MREs. So based on that, my assumption is that because the MREs are inside of a container, they are what is causing this seg fault, and it's an issue with containers. So we're going to test that really quickly and see what happens here. Where is, yes, we will drop our MREs and we will attempt to distribute food. You distribute 0. Okay, so it wasn't that, but we do have to take them apart to distribute that food, so that's good to know. And let's grab, the only other thing that we grabbed that was in a container was pasta. So let's attempt to give them pasta again. And we will see what happens. So fast noodles will give them, we had more up here. Didn't we have more? Oh, we also tried to give them protein rations. They're in paper wrappers as well, but those distributed fine. So let's just distribute some of this stuff. See what happens here. I really should mark the boundaries of the zone so I don't have to open it every time. So let's try spaghetti pasta. Distribute food. And we seg-faulted. Yeah, so it appears to be an issue with containers, would be my guess. I will check GitHub later and see if this is something. Since we're able to do it again, it's a repeatable issue. So we will... I don't know what to do about that either, because I believe if we unload the pasta and then drop it on the ground, it will become dirty. So I'm not sure how we'll be able to do this, but we will try to figure this out. Yeah, let me restart my game again. So what is interesting about this is that it's occurring with the cardboard boxes, but not when we distribute the jars, because we dropped a jar of jam, I think, and it didn't do that. So okay, ignore. Let's we're gonna sleep again. Let's make sure everything's closed up. Lyle, swap with me, please. And what we want to do before we sleep, since we know our vehicle's not contained, we never talked about this, but like our noise-canceling headgear, which prevents us from hearing things, we can also craft a blindfold. I don't know if I brought rags with me. Oh, you can't make them out of rags? That's dumb. It's a blindfold. If anything could be made out of rags, you would think it would be... I mean, I guess rags are probably like small, like washcloth size patches of cloth, so maybe that does make sense. Still, though, whatever. You could also make them out of clothing. We, of course, didn't really bring clothes with us. Actually, it may just be that it's too dark for us to get access to those things. Nope, those are headlights. Turn on the aisle lights. Oh, there's going to be a lot of coughs and throat clears in this episode and cuts because of the seg faults. So that is problematic. So let's try to make a blindfold. Nope, we still don't have anything, huh? Go ahead and use the duct tape. We have a jillion of it. I would normally not use duct tape for this, but with the junk drawers that made duct tape much, much more common, I'm fine with burning some duct tape. So turn off the aisle lights, wear the blindfold. And this will prevent us, we're now blind and deaf, which is just so much fun in a zombie apocalypse. But it will prevent us from waking up due to light, and it will prevent us from waking up due to sound. So we should be able to get a full night's sleep here. Lyle Darden does not have this benefit, but it also looks like light does not wake him up. So he should be just fine. And of course, the downside to this is that if the zombie, a zombie were to wander in, say we were in a building, and a zombie wanders in the window and starts towards us, we're not going to wake up due to him breaking the window. We're not going to wake up to seeing him, so we're going to unfortunately be attacked in our sleep. We'll see here, we got a message. It says you have a strange dream about fish. This is part of the mutation system, which we never talked about. So basically when you mutate, there is something called a threshold. There are multiple trees that you mutate down. There are lines of mutations. There is a fish line of mutations. Once you get a certain number of mutations in a particular tree, you will begin to have dreams about that particular whatever. You will get a message regarding that particular tree. So that we have a strange dream about fish. This is not the first time we've had these messages. We had something like, you have a dream about swimming or something like that. What this means is we've gotten a few fish mutations, and I believe what this means is if we take a fish serum, we will cross the threshold and become like a proper fish mutant. which past the threshold are like the best mutations. So like you can't get certain mutations until you cross the threshold, is my understanding. I guess I don't know that that's true because I'm not super familiar with the system. But I guess night vision and nomad must be fish mutations, because can't imagine lactose tolerant has any impact on it, and I don't see why pack mule would connect to a fish in any way. Oh my, I am sounding very hoarse now. That's not exciting. I did have a therapy session just prior to this, so I've been talking already for several hours today. So, yeah, very exciting. Anyway, so we can now take off our blindfold, of course, so we can see, take off our headgear so we can hear, and we'll dump these things here. And it's nice to see that Lyle can just sleep in these chairs. I was concerned he wouldn't be able to sleep in a seat. I thought we had to make him a reclining seat, but this appears to be fine. So, let's gather up some food. Yeah, Segfault sucks. Definitely issues with the container system. It's interesting that it only seems to be an issue with boxes, because these cans and jars were fine, because we gave them maple syrup. And these are paper wrappers for the protein rations. Technically, the paper wrappers are also containers. So it's interesting that it didn't impact those. And I will check when I go to GitHub if there's been a report. I imagine people who are more familiar with the system probably have already made reports about this, but you never know. So I'll go and check that out at least when I get done with all this. I guess I won't record much more given how hoarse I'm feeling, unfortunately, because today is a prime recording day, and we'll give them the eggs as well. Okay. Pop out the back. We'll leave Lyle to sleep for a few more hours. Seems like a nice thing to do. Okay. Really should mark the boundaries of this. Any rocks nearby? Not really. Give me this. I need something else to mark. Ah, good, another one. Okay. And we'll come back here. Press Y. And we'll drop a newspaper here. Where's the newspaper? Newspaper is a book. Of course it is. 1, 2, 3. And we'll drop one here. So now we know where the north and south of this particular zone is. So we know we can just drop in the middle of it and be fine. So we'll go ahead and drop. We're going to save to avoid the Segfault. And we will drop everything that I think will be okay. Plastic bags should be fine. Bottles should be fine. And that should be it. And we'll distribute this food. Distribute about 2,600 calories, just barely over a day. Drop the protein rations. Distribute food. 4,000 calories. Yeah, I should have brought all of those with us. I only brought some because I was like, I'm not going to eat these things. And now I'm realizing they may have been valuable for our NPCs. So let's go ahead and take apart a couple MREs. This will be like another 800 calories. Go ahead and butcher. Yes, yes, butcher. Yes, yes, butcher. Yes, butcher. Yes, butcher. Yes, butcher. Yes. Okay. So that should be everything loose. So we'll go ahead and grab this and move this into the pile here. Oh, make sure nothing's in a box. Most of this stuff isn't going to get disseminated anyway because it's not food. But we'll see what happens. Distribute food. 2,800 calories. That's way more than I expected. From 2 MREs, I thought they were nerfed to where they only give like 400 calories, but maybe I just mathed wrong. So this is the stuff it did not disseminate. It's interesting, it did take the drink items, which is odd because it said previously about only taking beverages from like the well. So what we could probably do is dump some of our beverages we don't like either. Like I don't need all. The glass bottles hold 3 charges. So we'll give them that. I don't really drink soda. We'll give them some soy sauce. It'd be weird if they ate soy sauce. What's the calorie count on soy sauce though? Like nothing, right? It doesn't even say. Salty fermented soybean juice. Oh, they added the ASCII art. Someone commented and said they saw ASCII art in one of my items. And in the video I saw it, but like I didn't think it was for everything. Someone had talked about making a mod for this at one point, about modding in ASCII art. Is that been added for everything? Oh, look at the bottles. Maybe it's just container based. Nothing for the energy cola. I don't really drink soda, so we'll pick those up. What about forest honey? It'd be cute if... Oh, I thought there'd be a little bear or something. Like a bear-shaped container. And we'll give them... Well, they're sealed jars, so these probably don't work either. Let's pop out. Activate the sealed jar. Oh, you can't? Why? I could activate the other sealed jar. How do I... Seal tightly to preserve contents. So I could just eat the fruit jam, which will open it. Check our inventory now. Should be fruit jam, yes. So we'll drop these things. We will save again. Again, trying to avoid that Segfault. So let's drop all of this except for the spaghetti. And we'll disseminate this food, distribute. And we Segfaulted. I must have dropped something. Glad we saved. Oh, these Segfaults are killing me. And since we dropped so many items, I can't even really be sure which item caused the issue. So let's take a look here. Plastic, bottle. Yeah, I don't know. We've already dropped glass and plastic, I thought. Dropped a jar. It didn't bug out. What did I drop that I shouldn't have dropped? This is a bummer. I hate doing testing on camera like this because I don't think it's fun for you to watch. Drop the wine. No, that worked. I mean, it's such negligible calories, it's not even worth dropping. Dropped a plastic bottle. No. Did I drop a spaghetti by mistake? I may have. So drop all these. Distribute food. And it's Segfaults. Okay, so maybe it's not container based. Maybe it's based on the item itself. Why would that be? I shouldn't be doing this on camera. I'm sorry, internet. We're gonna stop doing this. I shouldn't be testing on camera. This isn't your fault. You shouldn't have to watch this. What I want to do is unload the cardboard box of spaghetti. Drop some of the pasta. I don't know which one is which. Unfortunately. I'm going to assume it's the one that's not fresh. Did it make it dirty? It did not. So let's see if we can distribute just this. It was 0 Oh, it doesn't distribute raw pasta? That's odd. Because that definitely has calories and is definitely... Oh, is it not edible? No, it's edible. Why would that not be distributable? That's interesting. Anyway, let's drop this garbage. Yes, bugs, I know. So we'll drop all this stuff. Should have cleared out our inventory. Why do I still have 2 pasta in my inventory? Okay. I guess we took them out of the box and that's why. Let's, So how many calories did I dump? At least like 6,000, right? Distribute food. 9,000 or 3 days rations. So we could leave Lyle for up to 3 days, and we won't be leaving him for up to 3 days, so he should be fine. He doesn't have anything to drink because we haven't built a well. Lyle, wake up. Wake up. Not yet. Let's go. I'm not going to take him and leave him at the camp because the camp doesn't have beverages. And I'm worried I'll come back and he'll have died. So what we're going to do is just like take him in the forest. No, you got to come with me. If we're not ready, we got to take him with us. I got to keep an eye on him. Because otherwise he's just going to get in himself into trouble. Unfortunately. So Lyle, I need you to get out of there and we're going to talk. We're going to work our way in, okay? So he can keep his gun. It's fine. Let's reload our gun. Or our magazine, rather. And let's progress back towards town. I just can't leave him. Because, like, what if it because he's near the camp, what if it says, okay, well, he needs beverages. There are none here, so he just dehydrates and dies, you know? Like, it's so unlikely that that would happen, but I just don't trust. I don't know the faction camp, you know? So I don't feel like I can do that. We're progressing very slowly, by the way, for a couple reasons. Number one, there was a Migo out here that I don't see anymore. There's an M4, a couple M4s. We probably took the clips out of them. Or rifles, rather. They may not be M4s. It is an M4. Gonna avoid the cow amoeba thing. So there was a Migo out here, and there was a turret barricade. I'm tempted to like ram the turret with my truck just to get it out of here so we don't have to deal with it. Because it's going to be annoying to constantly have to go around it. Although it's daylight now. A bush. This is what I said before about bushes fully arresting the movement of your vehicle. Admittedly, I was only going about 4 miles an hour, but man, is it annoying when you hit a bush and you're like, it's a bush, bro. Like, I get it. We're in a big vehicle going slow. It probably would stop a vehicle, but it is annoying. What was that, says Lyle Darden. It was obviously mil-spec searchlight, riot control platform. Soldier hits the mil-spec searchlight but is stopped by its armor plating. Fails to penetrate, fails to penetrate. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if this is good or not because I've never really messed with these turrets. We're going to stop. I'm going to, no, safe mode off. I'm going to, well, first let's look at the barricade. How dangerous is it? Just some soldier zombies. I have 90 rounds on my person. There are 2 turrets. They should continue fighting the turrets and ignore me. I'm not sure if the turrets will ignore me. That's why I say I've never done this. So Lyle, I would like you to stay here. Guard this position. No. He should just come with me, right? Like, I haven't been using my NPC. Why wouldn't I take him with us? Wield the Sig. Let's advance. We're getting horde music because there's quite a lot of them, but I'm not really concerned. Dissolute Devourer is definitely the scariest thing here. Everything else can die pretty easily. But if this guy upgrades a bunch, I'm not sure what the time frame is on them upgrading. How often they can do it. And we're going to target the turret first. And once we kill the turret, what's going to happen is these soldier zombies are now probably going to move towards us or towards the other turret. But we wanted to kill the turret first because it's the only ranged opponent here. So we will now turn our attention to killing the soldier zombies. I thought that turrets and soldiers were on the same side so they wouldn't fight like that. I believe we talked about that in a previous episode. That may be incorrect. I thought police and military personnel were both immune to turrets because they are the same faction. That looks to not be the case. So let's just clear out some of the stragglers. So basically what we were getting messages about, we'll take a look at the log here in a second, is that the soldiers are failing to penetrate the armor of the turret. Zombie soldier hits the riot platform but is stopped by armor plating, stopped by armor plating, stopped by armor plating, etc., etc. So the only thing here that's strong enough to hurt the turret is us and possibly the Dissolute Devourer depending on his current evolution. We can't tell by looking at him how upgraded he is. Basically, I believe we've talked about this before, but basically this monster has a special ability that lets it fuse with other monsters nearby. So basically this guy will absorb nearby enemies into himself, or his companions, our enemies, into himself, which makes him bigger, gives him more health, makes him, like, literally makes him bigger. He becomes his size goes up. Size affects like how easy it is to hit something, that sort of thing. So like there are benefits and drawbacks to it, but he gets stronger, tougher, scarier as he fuses with more monsters. But I believe his fuse thing is on like a 200 round timer. I do not remember. I could completely be wrong. But it's not fast. It's not like like a spitter. It's not like it can spit every 15 turns or whatever. This guy takes a while to do this. So if he's upgraded, he can penetrate it. But everything else should be distracted by this. Now that we've cleared one turret, we will begin picking off enemies until there's only like one left. Then we'll kill the turret to ensure that it doesn't shoot us, and then we will kill the final couple enemies. So let's take care of some of the annoying ones first, like this dog that is very fast and could cause us some problems. We missed, but thankfully if we miss in this area, we're probably just going to hit the soldiers, which I believe is what's happening. Yeah, okay, get a little closer. If we get too close, they will divert from the turret to us. So like if I walk up to melee them, they will start attacking me. So we don't want to do that. But we have a gun, so why would we do that anyway? Graze the dog. I would really like to kill the dog because he's so fast. Everything else we can outrun and run back to our truck if it's a problem. Let's get a better angle here. It keeps auto aiming at the searchlight. We can probably just shoot this so they explode. Why would a spotlight explode? Turrets don't explode. Why would a giant spotlight, why would the bat signal explode if you shoot it? Let's look at this message log. Hit the spot. Yeah, it erupts in a blinding flare. You're blinded, you hear a huge explosion. I mean, we're not dead, which is like real good. We didn't actually take damage. It might have only been like a flashbang, and we just heard the explosion for some reason. Either way, it was alarming, and I did not expect it, and that's concerning. So we'll continue plinking away at these guys. People keep yelling at me for manually aiming every bullet. I just like it better. I don't like I guess in this situation, we don't have to worry about them coming after us, so we can just use this. But in most situations, you'll see how tanky this guy is. In most situations, I want to manually aim because I don't want to take a freaking, miss an important shot or whatever, or have an enemy rush up on me while I'm, oh, we're out of bullets, while I'm trying to shoot. I don't like the idea of, it's just more control. I prefer manually aiming. I know it's very slow, and I know it makes the game even more tedious than it needs to be. We're going to clear out like one more, then we're going to kill that turret, because I'm worried it's going to start shooting at us at some point here, and if it stuns us, we can die. So I figure we'll take that out. And now these guys will come at us, but Lyle should start shooting if they get much closer than this. The only reason he's not shooting is because there's no reason to. So we've cleared out this area, and because it's on the outskirts of town, we didn't really get any additional enemies coming. Probably there were a couple. Police station. Interesting. We didn't see any cop zombies. I was going to say there might have been a few that came from there already to shoot the turrets. Doesn't look like that's true. So let's smash these guys. We'll take the two-way radio now that we know we can use it to communicate with our NPCs. And we're definitely going to take these MREs because we can just dump them in our food stores. Oh, I got the hiccups today, man. Let's pulp everybody. Oh, hiccups. So this should be an APC. Military cargo truck. Oh, no. Why is it a cargo truck? There's no cargo spaces. Seats. Yeah, this should be an APC, I would think. Cargo truck. Okay. I don't know. What is that? JP8 fuel. That's new. What it's a diesel engine, but it doesn't have diesel. It has JP8 fuel. God, I have no idea what that is. There was like rocket fuel added to the game, but I find it odd that that would be in a military truck of all things. Definitely want all these MREs. So this is going to be a little bit of us sifting through all these corpses. What we can do is kind of stand in the middle of them and hit all. But currently advanced inventory is bugged with putting things in your own personal inventory. So I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna look through and grab the MREs. More cheese tortellini. We keep taking these two-way radios, I guess. Definitely want the grenades. Look at all these MREs and chocolate bars. Give me... Nope, Lau, move. Move, my friend. I need access to this corpse. Oh, it had nothing on it. Ratatouille. Ratatouille is freaking delicious if you've never had it. When that movie came out, called Ratatouille, which I'm sure you've heard of and probably watched. I mean, it's a kid's movie, but it's also like really enjoyable. I really like that movie, actually. When that came out, I knew a guy basically who loved to cook, and he was absolutely obsessed. He was like 45, but he was absolutely obsessed with that movie. And so he made us all Ratatouille, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I really like vegetables, and Ratatouille is just basically like vegetable lasagna, essentially. Instead of pasta, it's just like, obviously, instead of meat and pasta, it's just vegetables. Actually, I don't know what it's supposed to be officially. The one he made was 100% vegetables, and it was delicious. And I brought it home in a styrofoam container. I brought some leftovers, and it was labeled as rat, and I put rat in my fridge, basically. And my family was like, hey, you know that container, it says rat on it? What is that? So I remember that. He's dead now, that particular guy. He died several years ago. I loved him very much. He was one of the most important people in my life. Was one of the only adults that ever, looked after me when I was a teenager. Anyway, we're way over time. Although I do have to edit out all those Segfaults, so we're probably not that far over time. But yeah, we're gonna call this here. So for now, man, we got a lot of two-way radios, I guess. And I don't really need grenades, and I don't need a crap ton of Stanag mags. But I thought we would pick them up since we're going to be equipping, hopefully, more NPCs, right? We're going to recruit additional NPCs, and we're going to want to arm everyone. And 556 seems like the safest route to go. There were a bunch of new Stanag mags added to the game. I see they're not really added to the soldiers' inventory because we're only seeing those standard 30-round clips, which is probably what the army would, distribute. I don't think it's really common for a random soldier to be walking around with a 100-round mag on his M4. It just doesn't really seem like something that the army would be doing for the most part. In fact, we saw that other rifle, and it seems like those heavier rifles would be who, if there was a soldier that had a huge clip on him, it would be that guy. Now, this one was belt fed, which is where we just picked up that ammo belt. But you can see how that would be something that would make more sense to have an expanded clip. But there are actual Stanag clips that are like 50 rounds, 100 rounds, etc. And they added some smaller ones as well, so like 10 rounds for like a marksman rifle or whatever. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to wrap here. And we're going to just push into this town, deconstruct some furniture, gather up some more food, that sort of thing. Not sure if I'm going to record more today. I'm feeling very, very hoarse, and I gotta feel like you people probably don't want to hear me rasping about trying to make content for you like this. Anyway, that's going to do it. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. We will continue work on our faction camp in the future, and I'll see you next time.